Hey everybody, welcome back to Rusty Wrench Restorations. I'm Steve, and today we're going to replace this ring gear on my 430 crawler flywheel. So when I disassembled the crawler, the flywheel, which goes on the back of the engine sitting inside the bow housing, had all kinds of debris inside that bow housing area. Mice and rodents had worked their way into the clutch area and built a home for themselves. The problem that I didn't realize until after I cleaned up this flywheel is all these teeth on the flywheel where the starter engages were in pretty bad shape. So you can kind of see, I'm sure in the video here, this section all the way over to here, it's really pitted and nasty. And the problem entailed these teeth. So you can see on the good side, the teeth are nice and sharp and crisp and clean. And then over on this side, which really was like the bottom where the mice had built their nest from all the urine and nesting materials had retained moisture and really did a number on these gear teeth. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put this new ring up here so you can kind of compare the two and you can see the difference. So my concern was this would probably work, but I didn't want to put this whole engine back together and find out that the starter would either hang up on these teeth or not engage and skip or slip. So anyway, I thought I was going to have to buy a whole new flywheel. Turns out that's not the case. So there's companies out there that make new ring gears. So basically that's what we're going to do today. We'll use my torch and heat the outer circumference of the flywheel and the ring gear itself. And if we're lucky, hopefully we can use, a chisel here or a punch and drive this ring off from the backside. In the event that it's really stuck on there, which with my luck it probably will be, then we'll just go ahead and use the torch and carefully cut through this ring gear, ensuring we don't damage the flywheel. So when it comes to reinstalling this ring gear, once we get this old one off, we'll take the grinder with the wire cup on there and really clean up the shelf that this ring sits on. I always preach cleanliness and lubrication, but this is one part that we do not want to lubricate. So there's no means of mechanical attachment of this ring gear to the flywheel. It's basically just a close tolerance fit. So we'll have to heat this ring gear to expand it, and we should be able to set it basically right onto the flywheel. And then as it cools, it will contract and tighten up around the flywheel itself, and that will keep this ring gear from moving on here. So you do not want to lubricate this in order to try to help get this on. Once we get this heated up enough, it'll expand where it'll pretty much just drop on there and spin, and then give it a few minutes and it'll cool off and it'll be on there just like new. All right, so like I said, the plan is first thing we'll do is heat the outer circumference of this, get the gloves on, flip it over, and see if we can't beat this ring gear off. Let's see. We got to get this one up with gloves. Kind of. can do this before I drop the whole flywheel off. There we go. Voila. And like I said, we're just going to get the angle grinder. I got the wire cup on here, and we're just going to clean off any loose roster material that might be there where the old ring gear was. All right, time to install the new ring gear. Like I said, out of the box, it's not going to fit on there. We have to heat it to expand it. So you could do one of two things. One, the first method, especially if you got two people, it's helpful, is you can just heat this ring with the torch and then, bring it over and slide it on. And the second method is the method that we're going to do, which you'll see in a minute. One thing I do want to recommend is, I'm not sure how this will show in the camera, but there's a tapered bevel edge on this inside lip, and this is a 90-degree edge here. That tapered edge goes down towards the flywheel. So to ensure that we don't mess this up, I'm going to write up on here a couple spots, up. That way there, when I heat this and I go to install it, I don't accidentally put it on backwards. It shouldn't really matter. This bevel is just, again, to help, get it positioned onto the flywheel. I know, you're asking yourself, Steve, you said there were two ways to put this ring gear on. The first one was to heat it with the torch, but what's the second way? We're about to find out. Be cooking with gas, quite literally. So, while installing ring gear by means of barbecue grill, one thing you do want to try to do is get some foil and put it in your grill for two purposes. One, it'll keep your grill clean from any nasty ring gears. And three, I know I went from 1 to 3. 2, it's going to keep any grease that you might have on your grill from getting on the ring gear. Remember, I told you we don't want to lubricate this before putting it on the flywheel. So, nice little layer of tin foil on there, aluminum foil, and throw your ring gear on. Bake 350, 10 to 20 minutes. I don't know, something like that. Let's get her nice and hot. Yeah. Hey kids, how well do you like your ring gear cooked? Alright, so this thing should be probably about ready. My grill's showing 600 degrees. I don't know, I'm no Julia Child or Emeril Lagasse, but I'm thinking that's probably hot enough for a ring gear. So I've got my welding gloves, obviously to prevent my hands from getting burnt. I've got the flywheel close to the grill. It's sitting in the proper orientation. Remember, we put the ring gear on the grill with the white painted side up. So we knew that was the upside to ensure the tapered side went down to the flywheel. And I've got a good old set of channel locks here just to kind of pull it off the grill. So in a perfect world, I should be able to pull this thing off. I'll probably grab it by hand and try to set it straight down on the flywheel best I can to try to keep it from getting cocked or anything. If for some reason it still doesn't go on there with ease, not a big deal. We'll just throw it back on the grill, get the temp up a little more. But it should pretty much just slide right on there. I've seen other people do this where it goes on and you can actually spin the ring gear on the flywheel. That's how loose it is. And then literally within a matter of like 10 or 15 seconds, it'll contract on and you can't move it anymore. So I would recommend that once you get this installed to, let it thoroughly cool. I wouldn't try to put it on the tractor right away. Let it cool to ambient temperature and we should be good to go. So, all right, no editing out of this. We're just going to roll with it. Let's see if we can't get this thing on here. All right, I got my upside here. Set it on nice and straight. There we go. Look at that. It spins free. Get this camera in a little closer. Get a little better picture of it here. You can see that ring gear spins free. I know it's flat and level on there, There's no need to orient it in a certain direction. No need to hit anything. It's on there nice and loose. So I'm going to leave this alone for a little bit. We'll let it cool off, and probably here in a few seconds, there we go. Already, it's barely turning. So we're just going to leave that alone now. It'll cool off, and it'll contract on the flywheel, but we're good to go. We got nice new starter flywheel teeth. Alrighty, that should do it on this video for replacing the starter ring gear on the flywheel. Hopefully you were able to get some good information out of that, and will be willing to tackle that on your own if that's something you need to do. Good insurance policy for me, knowing that this component is new. I don't have to worry about getting the engine installed on the crawler to find out the starter will jam up or not engage. So anyway, speaking of which, the next video we'll be removing this pilot bearing from the flywheel. I got a new clutch disc and pressure plate. We'll be putting the flywheel on the crank of the engine. We'll be getting the engine off the engine stand, rear main seal and cover plate, flywheel, clutch, and hopefully we can get that engine installed on the crawler. I'd like to ultimately get that engine running before we get too far ahead with undercarriage and track components and everything. So being a new rebuilt engine, I'd like to get some break-in time on it, get the fluids moving and whatnot. So stand by for those. A whole bunch of new videos coming up about rebuilding carbs, electrical system, all that. So hopefully, like I said, you got something out of this video, and I appreciate everybody. We're at I think 403 subscribers now, so that's pretty good. Hopefully we keep building the channel and getting some more knowledge out there about saving these old tractors. So until the next one, I appreciate everything. Peace.